Here's a slow look. This is an open G chord, and I'm not playing the high E string. And the flesh from the third finger is arching over and it's muting the A string. So only 4 strings are sounding. And the high E and the A are not sounding. So I ring that open, strike it again, and then do a hammer-on. Well, it's not really a hammer-on. It feels like a hammer-on over here, but I'm striking it. Index finger on string 2, fret 1. Second finger on string 4, fret 2. And bounce it. On and off. And then bring in the third finger at fret 3, string 4. Walk it down to the original. One more time. Putting that together. Put it together again. You can see I'm only picking the inside 3 strings here. It's the B, the G, and the D string. So that's where you practice your aim with the right hand, just to hit those 3 strings and no other strings. And then to finish it out, we use the same fingering. We strike open twice, fingered once, and open once. So the whole first quarter of our musical segment. One more time. That was not right. I left the index finger off. One more time. I'm going to do it right this time. Let me check it for accuracy against the performance. Okay, it was right. What happens next is 2 downstrokes that are upbeats. So the band is going 1, 2, 3, 4, and these upstrokes are 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So. Experimenting with up down, you know, you could do alternate picking on this, alternate. I think mostly I'm using down though. Let's listen. And then there's those chukkas in front. And by doing those chukkas, what happens then is the first note becomes an upstroke. Looks like most of my picking on this is downstrokes, but the entrance is an upstroke. So the way that works is down, up, down, up. And this hand is muting for those first 4 strokes, or the first 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go into pretty much all downstrokes, and that allows me to aim well for these 3 strings. My aim's a little better. I actually tried doing down ups on it, and my aim was not so good. Doing down ups, doing downstrokes, my aim is better at grabbing those 3 open strings. But remember, that first one's an upstroke. But it's up to you. Try it both ways. Make it nice for yourself and do some ups and downs if you want, or do all downs. So I'm going to move on to the next section. What this is, fingers 2 and 3, strings 2 and 3, doing downstrokes with the right hand. I slide up from fret 2 to fret 4 with the 3rd finger leading the way on the G string, and I strike it 3 times. It's 2 notes together, just grabbing these 2 strings, and then slide them down 2 frets. Keep them together, keep it happening exactly the same. Slide it down 2 frets to 2 and 1. From 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And then strike these 2 strings open. To review. Or you could actually pick, if you can pick them if you want. But we're moving a little fast the drums are kind of fast. And so I like to do that second one as a finger slide down. And then strike the 2 open strings. Now I slide into this, so that's another thing. Take your hand and accurately, if you can, slide up and grab at the beginning of this phrase. So you get the... Next, it's pretty simple. That's just 2nd finger at D2 to D open. I really like that part of it. It's kind of a minor major slide. We go from A1 to A2 really fast. You don't really hear the A1. You just get a touch of it. And I'm using finger 2 for that. And you hit the open G string and the open D string. And then land on the G tonic. Do this phrase really slow. 2, 3, 4, 1. And then you add in the 2 upbeats. And let me see if I can decipher whether I did those upbeats with upstrokes or downstrokes. I'm not sure. Might have been up, might have been down. Works both ways. Then what happens? It's simply a restatement of the first thing. So we don't have to teach that because we just did it. We just learned it. It's just as if you placed it again on the 3rd quarter of this phrase. I'll demonstrate. So, in the heat of battle, it's always where the truth comes out. Looks like everything after that first upstroke, everything's pretty much downstrokes. So I'll back the downstrokes for this. Okay, let's move on to the next piece. So the key to this next thing is giving your hand time to come up here while these open strings are ringing. We went through that in the early part of this lesson. And we come up, and it's going to be G16 and B15. And it's really the same thing we just did down here, but we're doing it an octave higher. Let it slide down. And then re-strike with the index finger here. But the index finger is barred across 3 strings because I'm setting myself up for that move, and I want to be set up for it. So, check this out. See, when my index finger lands, it's going to be barred across strings 2, 3, and 4. Even though I'm not picking strings 2, 3, and 4, I'm just picking strings 2 and 3. Just the B string and the G string. And let's listen to what happens next. Yeah, same thing. But I'm set up because my index finger is barred. So this is the 3rd finger on D14 to D12. Let's listen to what's next. And then this phrase. I scoop up so that my hand comes back to the original position. I'm sitting here, but in order to do a slide up on this, I have to drop my hand back. So I'm here, I come back to here. Here, come back to here. So, and what that is A14, and then the index finger across G and D12, and then A14 to 12 with a 1-fingered slide down. 1-fingered slide. Pick the first note, just slide down. Then pick the tonic, G, G10. No, it's A10. The string is A10. But the note is a G, and I'm seeing this G chord. And then I do the back and forth phrase right there. I'm going to do this whole phrase really slow. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. And that last note is the tonic. It's the G note, the tonic. And then let's do the ending. So what this is, I take my 3rd finger, I'm on strings 3 and 4, the D and the G, and I come up here to 15. It's a very similar move because I'm striking, sliding down with that finger, and then striking again. And it's barred. Each thing is barred. So I'm barring here, and I'm barring here. Let's see what's next. Yeah. Now it's a scoop up from minor to major. Here's a G minor chord. Here's a G major chord. So strike these notes, string A13 and string A14. Bar across there, and then go to the minor and walk down. So this piece, we're walking down on the A string. Once again, it's the 1-fingered slide. So, and it's kind of a unique ending because it's the 5 underneath from the 1. I'm using numbers. Sometimes the numbers are intervals and sometimes they're frets, so I don't want to confuse you, but what this is, there's the tonic and there's the 5 interval underneath, but really it's the 10th fret. So this whole phrase really, really slow. 3, 4, 1. Grabbing both these notes on fret 10 and barring with the index finger. It takes a little bit of strength to do that. 2, 3, 4, 1. And I do do like to vibrato a little bit. Once again, take some strength. Now, the other guitar part, which is a good alternate way to end this, it's an octave lower. And I almost like to use that instead of the high one as the ending. So we're going to do the same thing for starters, but just in a different place. We're moving over to strings 4 and 5, and we're starting on fret 8. But it's the same finger. It's the third finger. 3, 4, 1. Okay, so we end up landing on D5 and A5. Right? And then we do the minor to major piece right here, but that's on E6 to E7. Then return here and strike that again. And then we walk down in a G minor tonality with a strike, and a finger slide. So that's E6, E5, and E3. And then the open E, and then back to E3. And that's our tonic, and that represents the lowest note of the G chord. So I'm going to do this really slow. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. So that was one of those unhappy accidents. Now I'm happy.